Okay, so here's today's lesson for your second part of today. We're looking at piecework. So piecework is basically when your employer is paying you for each item that you make. So sometimes it is just straight up the item that you make. Other times it's salary plus piecework. So what you can think of for that one is as if you are saying you're making $14 an hour plus, say, 35 cents for whatever you make per item. So when we're looking at this, we want to try to figure out if this is beneficial. This is a way in which a lot of people are paid, especially farmers. You have been offered a part-time job assembling stereo components. You'll be paid by piece. So each component you're making is how much you are going to earn. So say if each component is $5, that's how much you're going to make. So when you are being offered a job, some questions that you should think of when you are talking about is how much for each piece, how many pieces can you make per day? Those are the ones that you should probably ask most. Again, this isn't something as common, except for in uh, farming is mostly where you see piecework, so you're paid by how much you collect. But let's look at some examples here. So example one, Anne-Marie works part-time at a large sports facility selling programs. She's paid by piecework. So this is the important information that we have. She's paid by piecework. She's earning $10 per game plus 20 cents for each program. One thing that we want to do when we're looking at here, we want to make sure that all of our information is in the same unit. So what we're looking at here, so Emery earns $10 per game. You'll notice plus 20 cents for each program. We want to transfer that 20 cents to dollars. So if we're looking at 20 cents to dollars, it's going to be $0.2 per program. Now here's the important question that we want to answer. Find Anne-Marie's total earnings when she sells 39 programs. So we want to know total earnings when she sells 93 programs at one game. So we want to figure out how much she made in total. So total is going to be equal to that $10 plus the 20 cents times by number of programs sold. So we start figuring this out. So we know that she sold 93, so we're going to replace this information here with 93. So what you want to do here is get out your trusty calculator, in my case, my phone. You may also use your phone. So we do 0.2 times by 93, which is going to give us $18.60. So we want to now add how much she makes per game and how much she made from selling her programs, which means she made only $28. Let me just fix that there. That was a little bit of bad writing. $28.60. As always, when we're doing this, we always want to make a therefore statement so we know what we know. So therefore, Anne-Marie total earnings for the game was $28.60. So that's one example. Let's look at another example. Example 2. We're looking at Ethan here. So Ethan builds wood pallets. So wood pallets are basically these areas where you're going to be putting and stacking stuff. You see them a lot of the time in places like Costco. So where all the merchandise is stocked on top of those wooden planks, those are called pallets. On Monday, he builds 300 pallets and is charged, well, sorry, not charged, paid 35 cents per pallet. We want to look at the first question, which is what are his earnings for Monday? Okay, so let's look at one. We know that he made 300 pallets. And he gets paid. We're going to switch it to dollars. 35 cents, so $0.3 per pallet. So this one is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply to find out how much money he made. So his pay. Let me just change colors so you guys can see that a little bit better. So his pay is equal to number of pallets made sorry guys, we're having a little bit of issues here. Pallets made times by 0.38. Sorry, 35, which is how much he earns per pallet, okay? So for this question, his pay is equal to 300 times by 0.35. That's the amount of money. So if we multiply 300 by 0.35, that will give us a total of $105. It's not bad for a day's work. So let's look at the second question, part of this question. He builds 300 each day from Tuesday to Friday as well. What would his earnings be for the week? So we have 300 per day. So days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 5 days. Each day, he would make, if we're doing 300 again, we take the information from A, it's $105. How we find out the week, we're simply just going to multiply those two numbers. So we take 5, so money earned is going to be days times by pay per day. In this case, it's the same. Sometimes it's different. In this case, we have 5 days, and each day he earned $105, which will give us a grand total of $525. Okay? It's gonna, oh, that's not the correct. Highlight that information. Alrighty. So, Ethan works 50 weeks per year. So he gets 2 weeks off each year. If he makes the same number of pallets each week, how much will he earn? So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to take a week's wage, and we're going to times it by the number of weeks worked in the year. So if we look at our information that we have that he earns $525. We learned that from question B. And from this question here, we learn that he works 50 weeks per year. So we're going to put that information right here. All that information is going to give us how much he makes in a total year. So we take out our trusty calculator. We do 525 times by 50, which is going to give us 26,250. So we can say, therefore, Ethan would make $26,250 in a year. Okay, so that is our examples here. What your job is to do next is to practice these questions, taking that idea. So if we look at the first one, let's just do a quick example. Mark works at a rock concert selling programs. That is like question one of our examples that we had. So he sells programs. He is paid $15 per night. So that's our first information. That's how much he's paid per night. Okay? And he sells 20 cents. Sorry, he makes 20 cents each program he sells. If in one night he sells 150 programs, how much does he make for that concert? From what we remember, we're going to make sure that this is now into dollars. So we switch that to dollars away from cents. So that's $0.2. Okay? We know he makes 15. What we need to do now is make that equation. So money earned is going to equal that $15 plus that 2 points each, 20 cents for each program. So that's 20 cents, $0.2 times by how many programs he sold, which is coming from here. Okay, that's 150. So what is 0.2 times by 150? Let's ask our calculator. If we type that in, we're going to get $30. Okay. Now our next step is adding this together, which is going to give us $45. We need to always make sure we do our therefore statement, which is Mark will earn $45 working at the rock concert. And I'm going off the page slightly. Okay. What you need to do for homework today is finish these questions. All right? There are 7 of them. This last question here, I want you to think, how does piecework benefit both the worker and the employee? So what you need to make sure that you do is what you can have pros and cons. So we want to talk about the pros. That's not a very good drawing one. Let me erase that. So we want to talk about the worker and the employer. what benefits each person. So obviously put that in a chart, write it out better than I did, and figure out some ideas of why piecework is a benefit for you as a worker, or if you were in the employer's position, why might it benefit you? All right. So that's the lesson for 1.3 today. This is what you need to do to finish off your information, and then we will take it up tomorrow.